Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Inspired. Today I want to share a story that I found on MSN about a janitor who amassed a fortune of $8 million. dollars. I always feel inspired when I hear these kind of stories. I always feel that if you do some research, if you find things that inspire you, you're on your way. Basically, you might not reach and make $8 million. dollars. You might not be able to amass that in your lifetime, but you will probably be able to use this as inspiration to make some headways in your life. So basically, this story is about a gentleman who worked as a janitor at J.C. Penney and had some other jobs like at a gas station and things like that. And over his lifetime, basically by living a frugal lifestyle, he was driving a Toyota Yaris. Even after he became wealthy, he used safety pins to hold his jacket together and was seen cutting his own firewood. This gentleman didn't waste his money, so he was living a lifestyle well within his means, and the amount of money that he was making wasn't that great, so he was a janitor. So, but what he was doing right is that he was taking what he had after his expenses and putting that away. So basically, they have an example here that if for 30 years you were able to put $500 each month in the bank at an 8% interest rate, or if you bought some, say, stocks and you were able to get an 8% return, that $500 a month would be $180,000 that you put in the bank. But with the interest, you would actually have $734,000. And that's with 30 years of investing $500 each month. Now, if you were able to put $1,000 per month in the bank, which you would have put $360,000 in 30 years, that would have accumulated to 1.47 million. And that's something that's the power of compound interest and the ability to live within your means, being able to set something aside and letting it grow. So basically, if you start young, you're going to have a much better accumulation of wealth over your lifetime than somebody who's maybe starting now in their 40s or their 50s. But don't let that discourage you, because even though you might be starting off later in life, you're still going to be ahead because you weren't doing this before. So you're still going to have a better chance of having a good amount of money for your retirement. And that's something that is worth doing at any age, is trying to put something away and forgetting about it until you need it. So when we look at this, it's an amazing story that this gentleman was able to amass $8 million dollars in his lifetime without being the CEO of a company or having his own business, just by being a janitor. And it's pretty easy to find extra money to put into your bank account each month if you really cut down on things. You can cut your cable, you can drive less and not waste gas, maybe switch over to an electric car and not have gas at all. Take the bus. There's different ways that you can probably come up with at least $100 every month that you can be putting into a savings account and building your wealth. Now, the other thing that it describes here too is that he owned stocks, and what he would do is he would buy stocks in companies that he was going to hold for a long time. So he'd find quality stocks that he wasn't going to sell. He was going to hold on to these. And it says here in the article that the reason why many of the world's smartest investors do this is to minimize one's tax burden, which makes sense. And when you have as much money as Read did, minimizing tax means that that's cash in your pocket. You're not paying to the government. So being smart, so here's some things we picked up from this article. So being smart, being frugal, investing even a small amount every month if you can. If you buy stocks, picking stocks in good companies that you want to hold for a long time and you're not worried about them fluctuating, going up and down. And then minimizing the amount of tax that you have to pay on the accumulation of your wealth. So you're planning three things there. How do I get money? Where do I put my money? And how's my money going to grow without losing its value by losing it to taxes or other fees and stuff like that that you might have, like if you bought mutual funds or anything like that. So that's a couple key things to accumulating your wealth. You don't want to lose any of it as you're accumulating it. So Read's story is one of inspiration for us all. And I hope that this being brought to your attention, this story and this inspiration of this gentleman, will make you go out and try to do some research on where you could put a little bit of your extra money each month and forget about it. You know what? This story is about having money and forgetting about it. It's putting your money in the bank, putting it in stocks, and letting it grow. And, maybe 20 years from now, you're going to have a big accumulation of wealth, and maybe you could live off the interest, maybe you're living off the dividends. It's going to at least provide something for your future. And I would say that if you're a young person, that you're in your 20s and you just started a job, this is the greatest time for you to go out there and try to accumulate wealth. Now's the time to do it. But if you're a little bit into midlife, or even, into your 50s or 60s, don't let that discourage you too. You could still save some money. You still could put money away. It's not going to accumulate. It's not going to be able to compound the same way as somebody who has more time, but it's still something that you didn't have if you didn't work on it and you didn't put money away. So become a saver, put your money to work, and be like Ronald Read, where after spending most of his life working at a gas station attendant and a janitor, there's no way that you can't do this. So keep that in mind, and I hope this inspires you to make your fortune. Till the next episode.